All right, so I got to get something off my chest right quick. So Donald Trump was just at the National Association of Black Journalists. Okay, I'm gonna play the clip for you because I want you guys to see exactly what happened, the exchange that took place, and I guess he's catching a lot of heat in the African American community for certain things that he mentioned during this time. Now, I will say that from the beginning, the interview just went left straight out the gate, not even 1 second into the interview. And I want to say one thing to our African American community, right? To my black people, I want to say one thing to us. We will never get ahead thinking that we can always use our anger and use our divisiveness that we have against another party, opposition, to get ahead in life. We saw that with Martin Luther King. We saw the how Martin Luther King had to negotiate his way to getting more rights for African Americans, and this goes for any culture, any race. That if you're looking to get ahead, you have to be able to work together. And we just did not see that in this interview. This is an opportunity for black journalists, black people, to be able to ask serious questions that was going to really push the envelope, push the areas in which African Americans could really prosper in. When you have an opportunity to sit down with the leader, the president of the United States, the most richest, most powerful nation in the entire world, you use it and you handle that with respect and dignity, because that person has the power to change your generation and your children's generation. To be able to use a situation like this and to use it to attack, knowing that what the outcome was going to be, to try to get ratings or to try to get views, it was nothing but a disservice to African Americans. So, and let's not also forget that Kamala Harris had an invite, but she denied the invite. So for this organization to still have the opportunities to speak with a man that don't look like them in their presence is alarming to me. Kamala Harris says she's not going to come. Now, I think she's going to come now that Trump has now, been there. So she's going to come and try to act like she didn't save the day. I'm here to protect you guys. And this is not to be Democrat, Republican right now, but this is just to show us, the African American community, that this is the problem that we always had in our community. We don't know how to talk. We don't know how to communicate. And this is stuff like this that holds us back. The man came, didn't have to show up. Okay. He probably knew already that he wasn't going to get the black vote anyway. He knew he probably wasn't going to get the black vote because black vote 90% of the time vote Democrat. So the fact that he still came there and still gave time to be there to take questions from the community as a whole, particularly for black people, this is how you decided to go about it. Black journalism has still struggled. That's why Black National Association of Black Journalists even have this organization to help promote African Americans in a journalism standpoint. But this is an opportunity for black people to really stand up and say, listen, we voted for Democrat our entire life, but we have nothing to show for it. Mr. Trump, Mr. President, what can you do for our community? What can you do to help us get out of bondage? What can you do to help us to increase our wages? What can you do to get to have better schools in our communities? What can you do to help end racism in this country? What can you do to get us to have hope and to have prosperity in this nation? What can you do to help us become more entrepreneurs? What can you do to help us in the C-suite so that we can make decisions? What can you do to help and make sure that there's more African Americans that are in politics more than before? What can you do to push us forward? But instead, they use this opportunity to go right at him. I want you guys to watch the video for yourself. You make out of it what you think it is, but this is the video right here.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money, they were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited, it was Biden or Kamala. I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense, and then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love if you could answer the question on your rhetoric and why you believe that black voters should trust you with another 4
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act?
For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.